sides by 2. So which gives us, all right, hello, welcome to Abrahamic Success. This is the second version of ASVAB video. So we're going to start with question 1, all right? So question 1 goes like this.
Balls in the ratio of 2 to 3 respectively. If there are 300 soccer balls in the box, how many basketballs are in the box?
So this question is asking us to find how many basketballs are in the box, right? This is very easy, guys. It's a faster way of doing it. If I were to do this the faster way, this is a division ratio problem. The fastest way of doing it, or a faster way, is find how many 2 goes into 300. That's about 150. It's actually 150. So you multiply 3 by 150, that gives you your answer. So 3 multiplied by 150. So 150 multiplied by 3. 3, 5, 0. That's 450. So your answer for this one, the quickest way, is 450. All right? But mathematically, to do it mathematically, this is how you do it. This is a ratio problem, meaning 2 ratio 3 equals the numbers of soccer ball in the box. The same thing, 300 rate of the second ratio, which is of basketball, which is what we don't know. In order to solve this, we cross multiply. So let's say the unknown number is x. The unknown number is x. So by cross multiplying, we have 2 and 300 multiplied by 3, which goes 2x equals 3. Let's multiply it out. Multiply by 300, which we all know is 900, right? So let's start from that way. After cross multiplying, this is what we get. After cross multiplying, we get 2x equals 900. In order to get x, you divide both sides by 2. So which gives us x equals 900 divided by 2, because when you divide both sides by 2, this one crosses it out. So you have 1x, which is x equals 900 divided by 2. So x, our x here is 450. This is half of 900. That's your answer. All right, thank you. All right, the second question is about percentage. And the second question goes,
5 people share a taxi ride to the airport. The fare is $360 and they gave the driver a tip equal to 25% of the fare. If they equally share the cost of the fare and tip, how much did each person pay?
5 people. So 5 people share a ride. The cost of the ride is $360. And they each give 25%. So this is 25% of 360. So what's 25% of 360? We all know from our last ASVAB, 25% is
25 over 100.
Thank you. 25 over 100. That's a quarter. All right. So 25% equals a quarter. So 25% of 360 is 360 divided by 4. Divide by the quarter. What is that?
90.
90. Here. 9, 0. Which is a 90. So they gave the cab driver $90 plus 360. That's what that means. So you're adding 360 to $90 because the fare cost 360 and they gave the cab driver or taxi driver 25%. That's $90. 25% of 360. Now you had 360 to $90. Which is
450.
360 plus 90. And you have 0, 15, 450. Now, the question is, how much is each person gonna pay if they share this equally? Remember, there are 5 people. So that means if they share this equally, then our answer is 450 divided by 5, which give us 90. So your answer in this question is 90. So this is a 9, 0. So each person is going to pay $90. Thank you. All right, question 3 of the ASVAB question. All right, go ahead.
You drove for 700 miles on a trip, and the car averaged 35 miles per gallon. If the gasoline cost $1.25 per gallon, what was the cost in dollars of the gasoline for the trip?
All right, this is a very simple question of what we all go through every day. Question 3 is about finding first the numbers of gallons it takes to travel for 700 miles. All right. So if the car averaged 35 miles per gallon, so how do you find the numbers of gallons used for 700 miles? Because that would be 7 is a division question. All right. So to find that, you divide 700 by 35. And remember, in ASVAB, you can now use a calculator. Okay. So, but, all right, for the sake of this problem and solving situation, we'll go ahead and do, let's say 7 goes in 35 and 5 times. 7 here, 1, 0, 0, right? Does that make sense? And 5 goes again in 100, that's 2, 0, that's 20 gallons. So for the entire 700 miles, they use 20 gallons, right? Now, we know that each gallon costs $125. So to get the total amount for this person to go on the 700 miles, what would that be? That's a multiplication question. So what do we multiply here?
20 by 125.
Thank you. So we multiply these by this. 20 multiplied by 125. When you're doing multiplication, that's 12.5 multiplied by 2. Right? What is that?
25.
0, 4, 5, 2. That's our answer, $25. That's the end of question 3. Thank you. All right, question 4 goes like this.
A student finishes the first half of an exam in 2/3 the time it takes him to finish the second half. If the entire exam takes him an hour, how many minutes does he spend on the first half of the exam?
How many hours does he spend on the
First half
of the
exam.
exam? All right. So we know he spent a total of 1 hour. 1 hour, which is 60 minutes. He spent a total of 1 hour, which is 60 minutes. And here we know the first half of the exam is 2/3 of the second half. So the first half will be 2/3 of the second half, which is, we know it's x, we already know that one is x, plus the total, plus the second half, which is s itself. And the total amount of time is 60 minutes. So in this case, you find a common denominator here, and you make this a fraction. So what we have here is 3, and 3 goes here 1 time times 2, that is 2. 3 in these, that's 3 times, so plus 3s. So your equation now is 5 over 3s equals 60 minutes. Does that make sense? Now, in order to get that, we go like this, cross multiply, like we always do. So the equation 5 over 3s equals 60 minutes. That's what we're solving. Five over 3s equals 60. And in this case, we have cross multiply, right? Over 1. Cross multiply. So 5s equals 3 times 60. We don't have to do anything, right? So our s, which is what we're looking for, is divide by 5. You divide by 5. So our s is 3 times 5 here, 1, 2, 12, which is equal to
36.
36. Last question of the ASVAB question, question 5. This is how it goes. This is a normal, everyday question about pay, payroll, and work hours. So the question goes like this.
If a worker earns $200 for the first 40 hours of work in a week, and then is paid 1 1/2 times her regular rate for any additional hour, How many hours must she work to make $230 in a week?
All right. This question is about wages, work hours. So in this question, we firstly have to find the normal rate this individual makes. So how do we find the normal rate? This is a division question because they make $200 for working for 40 hours. So how much do they make every hour on the normal rate? Normal rate is 200 divided by 40 hours a week. That will give you how much they make every hour. So the answer is what?
5.
Thank you. So that's $5 every hour per hour. That's the regular amount they make. Now, the question is asking us for working additional hours, they make 1.5 of the normal $5. So what you're going to do is simply multiply 1.5 by $5 to see how much they make for extra hours. All right. So that means 1.5 additional of $5. This gives you 3/2 of $5. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that means they are making more when they work extra or additional hours. So what's the answer in this one? So this is gonna be 3 times 5 equals 15 over 2.
7.5.
7.5. So they make $7.50 additional if they work extra hours, right? Now that we know they make $7.50, which is 15 divided by 2, how many hours would they work to make $230? What you're doing here is subtracting 200 from 230 because you know for 40 hours they make $200. So 230 minus 200, that's how much extra they make in total. So what's the answer?
30.
$30. So what's the answer?
30.
$30. So this is equivalent to 40 hours. So how many hours are you going to get in this? How many hours are you going to work to make these when you make $7.50 during this period? Because now the $30 was made during the additional hours, because this is the normal hours. So what that is telling you is they only make this during while they were making $7.50. So simply the answer to that is you divide $30 divide by $7.50.
You get 4.
So that means when they make this, they worked 4 hours. So what's the total hours that they worked?
44.
Thank you. So let's divide this first. So we know that $30 and this is $7.50, right? So divide by 15 over 2. To do that, you swap it to get a multiplication, right? You swap it. So that's $30 times 2/15. That's how you do division of a fraction. So your answer is 2 multiplied by 2. That's how you get 4. To get your total hours worked, that's 40 hours plus the extra hours worked. So your answer is 40 plus 4. That's the end of question 5. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.